Good morning, friends. Welcome to today's Daily Dharma. I don't know about where you are, but here, Massachusetts, spring is really in the air. Just a sense of kind of vibrancy and new beginnings and new possibilities. So I hope that's similar or the same where you are. Today, I'd like to continue the theme that Tara started on Monday, the mindfulness infused with the loving kindness. And I want to do that because I think it's such an important aspect of practice. I haven't had a chance to actually view Monday's video post. I went online and couldn't find it. So, this may or may not be somewhat of a repeat. And I think, though, even if it is, again, very important, and you can't really get enough or too much, right, of important Dharma information. I think I'll spend the next couple of days looking at that from a few different angles. And today's is going to be when we're practicing, living, basically, our formal practice, informal practice, our life, and difficulty arises, right? This is a big part of our life, the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows, right? So it's a mix. And of course, this human realm being said to be the best realm to take rebirth in terms of waking up, because it has this mix of both pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. With the upper realms of the Deva, heaven realms, too much pleasure. It's like practice. Who needs to practice? And the lower realms, too much suffering, just too overwhelmed by suffering. And so the human realm with its mix, and again, part of this mix, one could say half of this mix, is difficulty, challenges in the body and in the mind. So I want to talk a little bit about these and what it looks like to practice with these difficulties, be mindful, right? And have that mindfulness infused with the loving kindness. It's very common when we're having difficulties. And now I think I'm going to just focus more on the inner life, right? Thoughts, emotions, mind states, not so much the physical. When difficulty arises, because it's difficult, because it's often painful, unpleasant, the kind of habit pattern of the heart and mind towards what's unpleasant is to go, no, it's this kind of this knee-jerk reaction. And that's not bad or wrong. There's no more moral wrongness to that. But it's just not helpful, right? It's not, doesn't support the heart and mind being at ease and eventually, being onward leading, if we have basically this aversion, right, to, half of our life. And so just this idea, like, can we turn towards it just a bit, turn towards this difficulty? And an analogy that I really like, I haven't made this up, but I've heard it many times and use it a lot in teaching, is the analogy of a young child who is in duress, like upset. They just fell down, scraped their knee, or they're just playing with other children and they are being mean to them, or anything like that. And let's say they were outside and you're in the house and they kind of come running in the house, crying, call me names, just really beside themselves. And what is, hopefully, what is the kind of natural response to that, right? What happens? oh, you actually get down and the body goes down. So the sense of meeting them, right, at their level, but not just meeting them, go down, you actually lean into it, the arms open, right? And you welcome them in and hold them. You hold that difficulty and let it cry. And, you really don't have to do anything so much. You're just creating this safe space for them to cry it out, say a few words, this or that, but mostly it's a safe space for them to cry it out. And then, as what happens with children, it's like, done. You want a glass of milk? Yeah, great. Okay, go back out and play or whatever. So this sense of moving towards, meeting, opening, right? And of course, the young child's the analogy for our own difficulty, our own challenges, emotions, mind states, thoughts, stories, right, in the mind. So, and so being mindful, but with this like infusion of, oh, can we meet this? Can we hold it with the same kind of loving attention that we would that small child? That not really have to do anything, not have to make it better or change it or make it go away. Just hold it, be with it because it's here, right? So this is loving attention that doesn't, you don't tell the child, it's like, well, just because so and so said that to you, then you shouldn't be upset or whatever. You don't do any of that. You just hold it, and that's really, to a large extent, all we need to do. Yeah. So for today, this shine the light on this particular area of our life, of difficult inner life, and what it's like, or this intention to bring a loving attention to that material. It's not one that pushes it away, but that actually opens to it. Which, right, easy, right? These are all nice words and they're lovely. And so holding the child, right? It's like, well, in the moment, that can be challenging, right? Because not just the general habit of the heart and mind to kind of turn away from what's difficult, but often these difficulties, these inner difficulties, are they're not the first time we've come up against them. They're usually quite reoccurring, usually quite old, or from a time when we were young, and yeah, they can be quite painful. And so it takes some skillfulness to do this. Sometimes it actually can be too much depending on what it is and who we are. And then we have to, we don't just open up and that would be too much. Sometimes we just have to touch it, know it, and move away to something that's a little safer. Come back, touch it a little bit, move away, right? So that might be what's skillful. Using the body, very helpful because, the kind of energetic experience of these mind states can be kind of like very chaotic, especially with if there's reactivity in the heart and mind towards them. It can be quite kind of chaotic, and so the groundedness of the body, and it's kind of being connected to the earth, can give us the stability to actually go, okay, this is a bit intense, but you know what? I'm really stable here. The earth has got me, feel my body. And in that way, can be a good resource for then kind of leaning in a little bit to the difficulty, because we know we have this sense that we're grounded and stable. So body awareness, really helpful in this realm. Maybe that's enough for today. And many other skillful approaches that we can bring in. Just mention a couple of them, but the general idea being, bring a loving attention, which is a holding, not needing it to change, feeling kindness and caring towards these difficult thoughts and emotions, and it's really quite beautiful when we can do that. It's as beautiful as holding that young child who is in duress. Okay, let's do some of the formal practice now. Bring our attention inwards a bit. Cultivate this loving mindfulness or mindfulness infused with loving kindness. And one way we can do that in the formal practice is to, as you settle into your body and connect with your body sitting here, connect somatically, feel it, that the attention, this light that we're shining on our experience, it's not surgical. We're not kind of dissecting our experience. Although in some aspects of Vipassana practice, that's actually when concentration is very strong, that kind of deconstruction can happen. But the approach here, it's not surgical. It's soft. We gently touch the sensations of the body with our attention, or we let the attention, these are just words pointing, but the attention come to rest with the sensations of the body, or whatever we're being mindful of, in this case, this moment, the body. Can you kind of feel into that? An example, the analogy I use for the type of soft or mindfulness infused with loving kindness is, we don't grab the object, in this case, the sensations of body. We don't grab it with our attention. Instead, the analogy is the way one would lay their head softly on a pillow, and that contact between the head and the pillow is a nice pointer towards this attention or mindfulness that's infused with kindness. Regardless of what we're aware of, this kind of a loving attention, or another analogy is the loving eyes of a grandparent to their grandchild. It doesn't really matter how the grandchild is acting. There's this loving attention. In a similar way, not mattering if the body sensations are pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, or whatever it is that we're noticing. It's this kind attention. Receiving the object. Again, the way you would receive that child running into your arms. So it's open. And we form this intention to be present for, this intention to be with any challenging thoughts or emotions that arise. Staying connected to the body for groundedness and support, stability. We don't go looking for difficulty. If it's not present, great. We enjoy the absence of difficult thoughts and mind states while it lasts. When we wake up from being lost in the mind-made world, it's important time to remember to have a kind attention so we don't jerk our attention back to the object, based on really self-criticism about doing it wrong. We consciously and surely, like clearly, return to the object if we're using a primary object. So we do that clearly, no doubt about what we're doing, but it's how we do it, how we approach that object and touch the object is again, where the head on the pillow kind of comes in. Thank you for practicing together. As we go about our day, of course, difficulties come up, and it's really helpful, you know, to once we're mindful of, oh, how am I dealing with this? Kind of reflecting, how am I being with this difficulty, to compare it with, oh, how would I be with a young child? And sometimes when we do that, it's a little shocking, like, whoa, I would never treat a young child the way I'm being with myself. So it's a good, it's kind of a good benchmark, right? How would I be with a young child who's in duress, who's upset? Can I be that way with myself? Yeah. Okay. I wish you well with that. Tomorrow and Friday, we'll come at this mindfulness infused with loving kindness from a couple different angles. Okay. That's it for today. See you tomorrow and be well till then. Bye bye.